From farm boy to president, the story of Abraham Lincoln, the boy who changed a nation. Before Abraham Lincoln became one of the most famous presidents in American history, he was just a poor boy living in the woods of Kentucky. He had no money, little education, and few chances in life. But he had a big heart, a strong mind, and a deep belief in doing what was right. This is the story of how a farm boy became the leader of a country and helped end slavery in the United States. Chapter 1. A Simple Beginning. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small, one-room log cabin in Kentucky. His family was very poor. His father, Thomas Lincoln, worked hard as a farmer and carpenter. His mother, Nancy, took care of the home and children. Life was not easy. The family had little money. They worked hard just to grow food and stay warm. Abe, as his family called him, had to help with chores from a young age. He carried water, chopped wood, and helped in the fields. Abe did not go to school often. Schools were far away, and he had to work at home. But he loved to learn. He taught himself to read using books he borrowed. He read the Bible, fables, and anything he could find. Even though he spoke slowly, he had a big imagination and loved telling stories. When Abe was just 9 years old, his mother died. It was a very sad time. A year later, his father married Sarah Bush Johnston. She was kind and brought books into their home. She supported Abe's love for learning. Chapter 2. Moving to Indiana and Illinois. In 1816, the Lincoln family moved to Indiana. They hoped for better land and fewer problems with land titles. Again, life was hard. Abe helped clear trees, build fences, and farm the land. But he kept reading whenever he could. Neighbors noticed Abe was different. He was tall and strong, but he also liked to think. He loved learning about the law, government, and great leaders of history. He also began writing his own ideas and stories. In 1830, the family moved again, this time to Illinois. Abe was now 21 years old and ready to start his own life. Chapter 3. Finding his way. Abe took on many jobs. He worked on a flatboat carrying goods down the Mississippi River. He worked as a store clerk and learned to do math and handle money. People liked him. He was honest and fair. That's how he got the nickname Honest Abe. In 1832, he joined the local militia to fight in the Black Hawk War. He didn't see much battle, but he was elected captain. This was his first taste of leadership. He also ran for the state legislature, but he lost. Still, people liked him, and he kept trying. He started studying law by borrowing books and teaching himself. Chapter 4. Becoming a lawyer. In 1834, Lincoln was elected to the Illinois state legislature. He worked hard and made friends. He kept studying law and passed the bar exam in 1836. He moved to Springfield, Illinois, and became a lawyer. He was very good at it. He used simple words and clear thinking. People trusted him to help solve problems. During this time, he met Mary Todd, a smart and strong-willed woman. They got married in 1842 and had 4 sons. Only one, Robert, lived to be an adult. Lincoln also served 1 term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He spoke against the Mexican-American War. But many people disagreed, and he returned to Illinois. Chapter 5. Speaking out against slavery. Back home, Lincoln worked as a lawyer, but slavery became a big issue in the country. Lincoln believed slavery was wrong. He did not hate the South, but he thought no person should own another. In 1854, the Kansas-Nebraska Act allowed new states to choose if they would have slavery. Lincoln was upset. He gave many speeches against slavery and joined the new Republican Party. In 1858, He ran for the U.S. Senate against Stephen A. Douglas. They had many debates. Lincoln said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." He meant the country could not stay half slave and half free. He lost the Senate race, but became known across the country. Chapter 6. Becoming President. In 1860, the Republican Party chose Lincoln as their candidate for president. He was not rich or famous like other men, but people liked his honesty and ideas. The election was tense. The South did not like Lincoln. They feared he would end slavery. When he won, Southern states began to leave the United States. They formed the Confederate States of America. Lincoln wanted to keep the country together. He said, "We are not enemies, but friends." But war was coming. Chapter 7. The Civil War begins. In April 1861, the Civil War began when Southern forces fired on Fort Sumter. Lincoln now had to lead the country through its worst crisis. The war was terrible. Thousands died. Families were torn apart. Lincoln worked day and night to guide the Union Army and keep the country united. In 1862, he made a big decision. He wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. It said all slaves in Confederate states were free. It did not end slavery everywhere, but it changed the purpose of the war. Now, it was also a fight for freedom. Chapter 8. Gettysburg and a New Hope. In 1863, a major battle happened in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The Union Army won. Months later, Lincoln gave a short speech there. "Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." This speech reminded Americans what they were fighting for: freedom and democracy. Lincoln faced many problems. People were tired of war. He lost a young son, Willie, during this time, but he stayed strong. In 1864, he was reelected as president. He promised to finish the war and rebuild the country. Chapter 9. The war ends. By early 1865, the war was almost over. Lincoln spoke about healing the nation. He said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all, let us bind up the nation's wounds." He did not want revenge. He wanted peace. On April 9th, 1865, the Confederate Army surrendered. The Civil War was finally over. Slavery was ended. The Union was saved. But just days later, something terrible happened. Chapter 10. A Hero's End. On April 14th, 1865, Lincoln went to see a play at Ford's Theater. During the show, he was shot by John Wilkes Booth, a man who hated his ideas. Lincoln died the next morning. The nation was in shock. People cried in the streets. They had lost not just a president, but a symbol of hope. His body was taken by train across many states so people could say goodbye. Thousands came to honor him. A lasting legacy. Abraham Lincoln started life in a log cabin with almost nothing. He worked hard, taught himself, and rose to the highest office in the land. He led the country through a terrible war, ended slavery, and stood for truth, freedom, and unity. Today, Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest American presidents. His face is on the penny and the $5 bill. His words are carved in stone. But more than that, his spirit lives on. He proved that even someone with little can achieve great things with honesty, courage, and kindness. From a farm boy to a president, Lincoln's life still inspires people all over the world.